So Donald Trump is absolutely panicking today as the walls are closing in. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Check this out. Breaking. In a sharp reversal, Trump said House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein Files. Wow. Why the sudden change of heart? Because they've been slow walking this thing. They've been blocking stuff. They've been covering up. I think they know that the vote's going to go bad. That's my first reaction to this. Bad for them, that is. Because you essentially can get a head count ahead of time, get a general idea, okay, who's going to vote yes, who's going to vote no, who are the kind of maybes, and you get a sense of where the wind is blowing. And now Trump's going to be like, hey, I was for releasing this stuff all along. The question, though, is going to be, will they release everything? And will they release everything unredacted, right? So they could put a whole bunch of black, markings everywhere and cover up everything. That's certainly a possibility. But at the moment, this is what he's tweeting out. He says, as of Friday night aboard Air Force One, to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein Files because we have nothing to hide. It's time to move on. That's according to Trump. And there was an interesting tweet here by Laura Loomer, which really illustrates who these people are. Okay, talking about the Republicans and GOP. And effectively what it is, it's a big cult and just a bunch of high school cliquey stuff. Seriously, this is what's running the USA right now. Listen to what she has to say. She says, you know what I hate about the right? It's from Laura Loomer. This BS narrative that we can't have standards because we have to be considerate of who is friends with each other. That's really what we're talking about, right? You got to understand who's friends with each other. And, this is all while we're talking about whether or not we're going to release the Epstein Files, which in my opinion, I've said all along, I think there's a high chance there's some very powerful donors in this thing, right? And there's people who are protecting said names, essentially what it is. And then effectively it becomes, okay, it all depends on who's friends with who. It's the same with the Republican parties, that there's a lot of infighting right now, and they're all trying to figure out where to position themselves. And it's all up to, do you believe Trump is the Titanic and the ship is sinking, time to get off the ship? Or do you think the Trump train is going to keep on chugging along, right? And when you listen to more of this stuff, again, I'm telling you, it's a cult plus high school clique. From Laura Loomer, she says, why should someone's friendship with a right-winger who I may or may not have any influence on what I say about them if I feel like dragging them, okay? Why should I care about people's phony and fake relationships? This is coming from her on the Republican Party. I don't care. Everyone in the GOP hates each other. You don't want to be friends with these people. Trust me. That's coming from her. And I've always said that about the Trumps, the Trump family, a lot of these people in the Republican Party. Isn't it obvious these people are bad people? Isn't it obvious? Every time I see the Trump kids or Trump or whatever, it's just like, these people are not only morons, they're corrupt, they're mafia people. You just don't want to associate with these kind of people. And it's funny to hear Laura Loomer even say the same kind of stuff, right? Why should I care about people's phony and fake friendships, right? I don't care. Everyone in the GOP hates each other. You don't want to be friends with these people, trust me. And the other way to think about it as well is they're all greedy individuals, self-serving, and essentially they just kind of use each other nonstop for whatever financial gains that they're looking for. It's a really bad environment. That's why, for those of you guys who watch, a lot of people like mafia movies or those kind of things. Y'all know like everyone's like always gunning for the boss and to take the seat. And then, when you get the whatever throne, everyone call it seat, then you're always defending your challengers. It's just that really ugly environment. And it makes for a great TV show, but you don't want to be in that world. And you don't want that kind of world to run the country, right? And so I think the Epstein stuff is deeply connected, because if you go to any of the Trump parties, it's like every weekend they have a party. It's every weekend. You see it. It's all public. You can see it. It's every weekend they have a party. And there's all sorts of, backroom deals. And I'm sure there's all sorts of, we'll just call it shenanigans with whatever chemicals or whatever people. And I'm sure there's hush money being passed around. It's that kind of environment. It's a seedy, dark environment. Trump's been in that world for a long time, and the Epstein thing for me, it's just scratching the surface of who these people are. I mean, isn't it obvious? Because sometimes people say, people say this. I just want to address it. Sometimes people say, Chris, well, every politician is dirty. Okay, some people say that, and it's like, guys, there are different levels of this stuff. Do you think every politician cheats on their wife, and do you think or husband, right? Could be either or. Do you think everyone has to pay hush money to, whatever? It's no. Not everyone gets involved with that stuff. Not all members of the House give all that stuff. Not all members of the cabinet give all that stuff, right? There are different degrees. The thing that's just crazy about it is Trump has filled his, cabinet and all the people associates like those kind of people. And we kind of normalize that behavior, but man, it hasn't always been like this, Sure, there's dirty stuff that goes on in politics, absolutely. But to this degree that we're seeing, it's crazy that it's all public because these people are so, try word to say it. You could say you could call them drama queens if you want to call it that, or you could call it like they're the people who always need to be in the spotlight nonstop. Trump, he cares more about the camera than say someone effectively having a heart attack or whatever happened to that person on his floor in the office, right? We saw it for ourselves. So I would agree with the stuff that she says here. It's weird I'm agreeing with Laura Loomer, but, why should I care about people's phony and fake friendships? I don't care. When the GOP hates each other, you don't want to be friends with these people. Trust me. That's why these people are always so unhappy out there, and they live miserable lives. And that's why they get involved with, whatever Epstein. It's just they're all miserable people, right? It's just they're decadent. It's obvious. It's obvious, but it's where you have to show this stuff because for some people they never really experienced this kind of world or thought about it in this way, I guess. But this is what Patriot Text. This is more of a left-wing account. They say, 1, Trump can release the Epstein Files anytime. Okay. 2, he knows he is about to lose this week's House Epstein Files vote, so he wants to act like he endorses it. Okay. And 3, with all of Trump's Epstein Files cover-up, we should settle for nothing less than a trusted special prosecutor. I think that's reasonable. Get a special prosecutor on this. If you're serious about releasing stuff, get a special prosecutor, get someone, independent. Because if you're serious about this stuff, this should just be a criminal investigation kind of thing. That's it. Let us know what's going on. It's just about upholding the law. Laura Loomer then is also tweeting out here. President Trump says he told the House Republicans to vote to release the Epstein Files because he has nothing to hide. Marjorie Trader Green, I guess we're calling her Trader now, spent her whole weekend going on leftist news shows bashing Trump, insinuating that he's a pedo. She's going to hell for this. It's from Laura Loomer. It's not very nice. And then this is more from Trump. I mean, you read the words of these people. They're Looney Tunes. Trump says, let's start talking about the Republican Party's record-setting achievements and not fall into the Epstein trap, which is actually a curse on Democrats, not us. Make America great again. Benny Johnson was also tweeting about this stuff, and he's mentioning various names. Is Clinton going to be in here? Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc. Just let it all out. Also, this here is kind of an interesting one. And the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care. So the legally part, you could play that any number of ways. So will Trump and their people declare something illegal, therefore we can't get it? We'll see. And then this is the whole stuff regarding calling Marjorie Taylor Greene the traitor. the stuff that they're doing to each other is nuts. It just says wacky Marjorie Traitor Brown. Remember, green turns to brown where there is rot, right? Okay. Is working overtime to try to portray herself as a victim. In actuality, she's the cause of all our own problems. The fact is, nobody cares about this traitor to our country. And then Marjorie was talking about, I guess she's getting threats, is what she says. Be it hoax pizza deliveries or whatever. And the pizza thing actually has been a problem, to be frank. Trump will tweet out something on social media, target a particular judge or whatever, and then judges will get basically people ringing your doorbell, like at odd hours or all night, et cetera. And if you understand the seriousness of what this could be, because when you first hear it, you're like, wait, what? Why is this serious thing? Is you could have someone just show up at your door anytime in USA and they could just have a weapon. It's just a real thing, right? There was a situation where the Trumpers and their people were making fun of Nancy Pelosi's husband, which is just frankly, it's not funny, right? Someone broke in their house and had like a hammer, and it's just don't joke about that stuff. And that these kind of people, let's be frank, guys, these are bad people. I don't wish violence on anyone. I want the violence to come down, but I'll just say these people hang in these kind of circles, and this is the kind of stuff that happens, and it's a really toxic environment in the USA right now. Let's put it that way. And it's weird though that Marjorie then expresses this stuff when she would downplay other things. So this is what it says here. The hoax pizza deliveries have started now to my house and my family members. Update, we received a pipe bomb threat on my construction company's office building. President Trump unwarranted and vicious attacks against me were a dog whistle to dangerous radicals that could lead to serious attacks on me and my family. And this is someone who's like promotes guns and stuff all the time and says a bunch of incendiary things. It's just sort of the culture that they've been breeding for a long time. I'll just put it that way. And then she'll go on and on. I'm not a traitor, blah, 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 right? And when you read another thing by Laura Loomer, this stuff, it's hard to know for sure, what's going on here. But, it's like, which liar do you believe more? That's what it being. Laura Loomer says, I spoke with law enforcement officials at the police department in Rome, Georgia. They told me they never received a report today of a bomb threat at the business or residence of Marjorie Trader Greene, right? That's what she says. Greene posted earlier today that because of President Trump, she was getting bomb threats at her construction company. It appears MTG lied. And we don't know. We don't know. Did Greene call Rome, Georgia? Did she call another city? Did she call the FBI? Who knows? I have no idea on this stuff. So that's why, when you go through this stuff, always take it a bit with a grain of salt. But sometimes some things do ring true, for me at least to do. When Laura Loomer was saying, why should I care about people's phony and fake friendships? I don't care. Everyone in the GOP hates each other. You don't want to be friends with these people. Trust me. And for me, that rings true. And I see it, like who these people are on a daily basis, and it's pretty obvious. So I'm actually quite curious what's going to happen with the vote, who's going to be on yes, who's going to be on no, and how this plays out. So that's my thoughts on this. I'd like to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video.